Bonjour Eric. How would you describe yourself in 3 words?
In 3 words, hardworking, motivated, and tenacious.
Right. How long have you worked as an honorary consul in Las Vegas?
In Las Vegas, it's been about 3.5 years now. It went by really fast.
And why did you choose to be one of the honorary consul of France? And could you also please specify what is your role
Sure.
as an honorary consul?
Sure. Well, I became honorary consul when the previous one retired, and the French consulate asked him to recommend 3 possible candidates for the position. So I interviewed for it, and after a year of interviews and background checks, the position was made available to me. So I chose to take it because I wanted to stay connected to the French community, the French culture. And also I thought it was a great way for me to give back to my country, even though I live far away from it.
Can you provide examples of why people get in touch with you as an honorary consul?
Well, there's 3 different aspects to what I do. There's an administrative aspects for French people who are here who need help with documents such as passports and certificates for their social security and so on. There is also a cultural aspect to it where I try to, as much as possible, to promote the French culture here in Las Vegas, helping the associations and some of the schools near and around Las Vegas. And then my last duty is help French people, French citizens who are in difficulties here in Las Vegas, because sometimes they find themselves in pretty delicate situations, and so I need to intervene and help them out of it.
Las Vegas is a place.
Well, it does happen. It's Las Vegas. On occasion, we have 1 or 2 people who need my assistance because they're really stuck. How
do you combine your regular job with that of honorary consul?
Well, it's it's basically, here's the thing with being honorary consul is that there's no real hours for it. So sometimes I could get a call in the middle of the afternoon, in the morning, or even in the middle of the night, and if it's an emergency situation, I just go. So it is a lot of combining. It's such a variable. The demands are so variable that basically I make it fit somehow in my schedule. And of course, every week I meet with the French people here who need my help, so then I have a set schedule. But other than that, it is when I'm needed, basically, no matter what time.
How often do you visit France? Where do you tend to go?
I try to go back once a year to visit family. So we either go to the north of France in Lille, which is where I grew up, or down to the south of France in Cannes, where I was born, and I still have family as well there. So we try to combine, both.
Okay, great. Which 5 words would you list to describe France?
Well, food, of course. I'll start with food, culture, wine, friends, and history.
Which 5 words would you list to describe the United States?
Powerful, hardworking, extremely hardworking. Very diverse from geography to people. A lot of different cultures. Land of opportunity, and it is a country where there is no limit to how much can be done as long as one is willing to put the work in it.
Can you foresee yourself moving back to France at some stage?
I've never given it much thought. It's not impossible, but that's not part of my plan right now.
Okay. How do you keep informed about France?
Mostly on the internet. This is probably the best source of information. So checking the news, checking the AFP websites and TV5.
How is France perceived by the American people?
It's kind of it's a bit of a love and hate relationship, but France has a long history with the United States. We go way back, And so, you know, there are some misconceptions sometimes, but they're pretty easy to break through because, you know, once people understand that even though we're very similar, we live 8,000 miles away from each other and we have different cultures, different history. And I think it's important to keep an open mind and to be able to accept whatever is happening, you know, whatever, you know, the way of thinking is. So, but also, you know, I run across a lot of Americans who love France, who love the language, who learn the language and have been there many, many times and only had good experiences. So I think, you know, the truth is kind of in the eye of the beholder. It depends on, you know, depends on the person. But mostly, it is mostly positive.
In your spare time, which hobby do you prefer?
That's a loaded question because spare time is not part of my vocabulary. But when I do, you know, I just spend time with my 2 children. That's what I enjoy doing when I'm not working.
Mm-hmm. What is next for Eric Auger?
You know, a lot of things. Some I can, you know, some I can't talk about because it's kind of further away in time. But what's next for me would be to continue being the Honorary Consul and continue working as a real estate agent, growing my personal business, and you know, at some point turn it over to my children.
And your message to the French Quarter magazine readers is?
You know, for the American listeners and readers, I would say, you know, go visit France. You know, of course, you want to go to Paris because this is, you know, the capital. But I would also say go to the countryside, go visit places where tourists don't go, and you'll see that the experience is actually really, really memorable. And, you know, for French people who are watching us now, I would say if you have a chance to come visit the United States and spend a little bit of time here, come discover this country because it is really an amazing country.
Thank you, Eric, for letting interview you, and we'll have a wonderful day.
Thank you.